Yeah.
I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won. Yeah. I hope my team they won. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won. I hope my team they won. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Ooh, that ain't what I wanted. Welcome to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Yeah, we live, man. Oh, you can't hear me? That's not a good sign. I can hear you though. Okay, you can't hear me. How you doing? You can't hear me, so. Okay, he's going to kick out and come back in, but I'll do the intro while he does that. Welcome to episode 799 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports. For institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA, we share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture and HBCU athletic aesthetic to facilitate the story of HBCU's athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, David L. Rhodes, and Tariq Wilson will be back in. I'm going to push him in here in 1 second. Brandon King and Jeffrey Johnson are currently on assignment. We are filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to our KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer Ralph Cooper in the beautiful home of Houston, Texas. Reek, how you doing now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. We're cooking on grease. How you doing, man?
You know, it's crazy enough where I'm calling from the car. That's how I'm doing. But I made it. It's been crazy. It's been a couple weeks, man.
Look, man, I've been trying to get my mobile game up to snuff. Like I have like headphones, I have like mobile mics that I used to use when I was like traveling around or whatever. And I went to go check them out the other week and they just stopped working. So I had to buy me some new mics, and now I'm just trying to test to see if the audio's good on my new equipment and stuff. I've been doing it all week to see how, I got some folks that are particular because they're used to a certain standard, but I got to make sure these things work before spring training this weekend.
Oh, how do I sound?
Oh, you sound great. You sound great.
I got the new AirPod Max 2. They say they're studio quality, but I'm still on Bluetooth. So they say if you hook it up with USB-C, then it's like perfect studio quality. So next time I'll come with that. But I'm glad I sound. You sound perfect, man.
Look, man, I get very particular about my audio, man. So like, and I normally use Rode mics, and I haven't used DJI in a long time. So like, I'm trying to see, because this has more it's a newer version. This has more technology, so I want to try to see how well it works. But nah, man. Look, man, we had a lot of news that came down the pike in Aggie land, man. I don't know which way you want to go with this. You want to start with Earl?
Yeah, let's start with Earl, man.
All right. So for those who don't realize, Earl Hilton announced that he was stepping down at the end of his contract. He's been working for A&T for 26 years between the athletics department and academic affairs. A lot of people don't realize when he first got hired at A&T, he was in the athletic department doing compliance. And then he went to go do student affairs for almost a decade. And then when the athletic program of A&T was literally rock bottom, and I mean rock bottom, between the 27 straight losses, we had a student athlete that passed away. There was just a lot of turmoil, issues with graduation with the athletes. And Earl came in, the AD Earl Hilton came in, and there was a lot of things that got cleaned up over time. He proceeded to win 70 championships during his tenure in the MEAC, Big South, and the CAA. He 4 Black College National Championships, 3 Olympic medals, including gold. National title in bowling. Like, he pretty much cleared the gauntlet. He pretty much won a championship in every sport, including basketball, which is the only MEAC championship we've had in the 21st century, and we still have more MEAC championships than anybody. But So he had a outstanding run. I know, but he also was the guy that tend to take the heat. He was typically the one that took the blame about all the conference moves when a lot of people don't realize those decisions don't come from him. They come from the chancellor, it comes from the board. I think it's easy to blame him for obvious reasons, but I think folks got to have the full perspective of it all.
Right.
So I want to get your perspective and your thoughts on it.
So he's been there a long time, right? How old is he?
I don't know how old he is. I don't be out here picking people's ages, but I'll say that he's a lawyer. Like he's a lawyer. So, and he worked at Texas Tech before he came to A&T. So he's been doing this thing for over 30 years. So we can kind of do the math with regards to that between the lawyer and everything else. But you only need to have like 20 years, I think, in the UNC system, in the state system to get the pension. Mm-hmm. He's exceeded that. He's over 25 years into it. So
okay. No, I think he's had a really good run. I do think like a lot of the theories on why he made some of the moves he made was always interesting. Like it wasn't in the best interest of A&T, but he seemed to really take A&T's interest to heart. So I think it was a good run. I do think if there ever was a time to leave at a smaller school, now is the time to leave as things get more expensive and it's harder to pay people, pay the athletes, raise money, all that stuff, compliance. So I think it's a good time to get out. So a lot of people that's been around for a while are starting to think about retiring or are retiring. So I could understand that because we've had some chats too in our group chat about, like Campbell and just different coaches like saying, hey, we cannot win in this landscape. So, I'm sure he's thought a lot about that. But that aside, I think he's had a good run for A&T.
Oh, he had a phenomenal run. Like I think, a lot of folks got spoiled about the Celebration Bowl success. And I think a lot of folks, which is interesting to me from my perspective as an Aggie, a lot of folks are thinking that him leaving means we're heading back into the MEAC. And I'm sorry to disappoint you all, but I think that this next hire is going to be pivotal, but I don't see us heading back to the MEAC. I think if we're going to go somewhere else, it's either going to be at an FBS conference or back to Division II. I don't think there's going to be in between. But that's just David talking, right? That's just my take on it. Mm-hmm. Some people might not necessarily agree with my sentiment, but that's just how I feel. Either we're going to go up to an FBS conference or we're going to go down to the CIAA. I don't think there's any in between. I don't see us going anywhere other than those two spots. And I think people think I'm crazy by saying that. But the running joke when we first went to the CAA was, are you ready to compete in the CAA or the CIAA? That was the joke. So like, are we serious? Basically saying, are we serious or are we not? When it comes to this, if we're going to make the decision to make these conference moves. That being said, his legacy, me and my boy Tyler Ball, I said he's probably the best AD we've ever had, and he kind of disagreed because I guess we did have an AD back in the 80s that won 7 straight MEAC basketball championships. However, I think when you talk about it from an all sports perspective, I think it's Earl. Like, I think it's got to be Earl. Like, I think he won a championship in every sport during his tenure, at least one, including one that didn't happen in over 20 years, I think, if I remember correctly, and got the first NCAA win in the first 4. So the MEAC was eating off our unit for a while.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So that's just how I feel about him. I got to meet him a few times. Very genuine guy. I tell him, I remember the first time he wanted to give Chancellor Martin all the credit, and I told him, nah, man, you take all the heat. You got to take some of this credit too.
Right.
Like you gotta. And I think he's done a pretty good job in keeping a lot of challenges during that period too, when they were trying to rebuild, and some of the current ones has been going on. So yep. I mean, with the whole gambling fiasco that happened and everything else, he kind of kept the slate pretty clean for A&T. And that, funny enough, it was in his contract to do so, but he kind of kept it pretty clean overall as a whole. So, so kudos to him. Now there's been debates on whether or not he's going to retire or is he going to go look for another job. But if he wants to get another gig somewhere else, he can go. He'll get hired pretty swiftly.
Yeah,
that's what if he wants to keep doing this type of stuff. But otherwise, he's had a phenomenal career.
Yep. Yeah. Good luck. Now here's the fun part: replacing him.
And that's the beauty of it all, right? Because there were pockets of folks who wanted Earl to stick around longer, and there were also pockets of folks that wanted him going years ago. So I think when you start, I want to probably table it because I can go this whole show without a single break, and I don't think I want to do that to Dr. Cavil. But I do think that hiring him and what the expectation is going to be fascinating because there's a lot of success that happened during his tenure, but there's also a lot of challenges that he was fighting. Like the moment the moment that the decision was made to buy the War Memorial Stadium from the city of Greensboro, that's been something that Earl had challenges being able to tackle. So I think a decision is going to have to be had on what they're going to do with it. I think there's some sports that it's a travesty that we don't have, considering the state that we're in. It's a travesty that we don't have soccer, particularly women's soccer. I feel that way about that. And I've said it. During this tenure, we did decide to get rid of swimming. And shout out to Howard. Howard is now the only HBCU that has a swim program. And now, and I think that's affected us a bit, especially when we made the decision to go to CA. Somebody asked them, hey, are we going to bring the swim program back? Since now we're in a conference that actually sponsors it. So, things like that. Like, besides the fact they're trying to fix the football program, besides the fact that, we got to figure out men's basketball still, even though the football program, I think, is going in the right direction. But men's basketball, I'm not there yet. I think we're still going backwards. We might only have 3 players come back from this past season. The way
that sounds normal. That sounds normal. It's like what we got. We got 4.
So I think but depending on who gets hired into this position, it's gonna say a lot about what the expectations are. I anticipate it's gonna be a hot position to be had. I think there's some ADs that are currently in the HBCU land are definitely going to apply for the position. I think there's going to be some folks that are in the CAA, like maybe an associate AD, that's definitely going to apply for the position. So I'm kind of fascinated to see what direction they're going to go. And the craziness of it all is that the current chancellor, the new chancellor, Chancellor Martin, I call him Martin 2.0, he has done a lot of turnover. He has turned over a lot of folks on the board, a lot of folks within his cabinet, even a couple of deans. There's been a lot of churn since he's gotten a position, and it's pushing almost 2 years at this point. There's been a lot of churn, and I think some people would say that there's a concern there about the amount of churn. I'm not concerned yet. I don't think I have a reason to be concerned yet. I looked at who was coming in, and a lot of those hires made sense. There was one that I questioned, but outside of that, the rest of them kind of make sense. But now he's looking for an AD and a band director, man. So the band director retired this week too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the band, Dr. Ruff. Shout out to Dr. Kenneth Ruff. He started when I was a student. Started in 2003. So I got the best of both worlds. I got Dr. Hodge. Rest in peace to him, and I got Dr. Ruff. During that period, so now I'm going to be curious to see who's going to take over for that helm as well, which is a position that people don't talk enough about, but it's very, very important.
You talk about it when your band sucks.
Yeah, but ours not. One thing we're not. It ain't that.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, people expect it to just be. So he go unnoticed. It's like referees, you know what I'm saying? You only notice when you mess up.
Yeah, A&T Roy didn't like my opinion, but that's how I feel, man. Like, it's either going to be the CI or FBS. I'm just saying.
You know, is there a decent chance of either happening though?
The
I
previous
hope
chance that
not
was
for our
pushing,
sake.
huh?
I hope not for our sake.
You
We don't want to be the
don't
only
want
ones.
to be alone in the wilderness, man.
Nah, man.
No, I know that there's still aspirations to get there. There's aspirations to still get there.
Oh,
And
FBS. Okay, yeah.
FBS, absolutely. I think there's
Okay, I was saying not aspirations for CIAA.
no. There's still aspirations to go to FBS. But it's cost prohibitive right now.
Yeah.
I mean, enrollment wise, I think, you know, when you think about some of the FBS programs, enrollment wise, we're there. Like, I'm not saying Power 4 would be a dream, but I'm not saying that, but like getting into like the Sun Belt or the Conference USA or one of those conferences, I think that's still, there's aspirations to get there. There are.
Right.
There definitely are aspirations to get there. Yeah. And it'll probably turn into a nightmare.
Right.
But, you know, because there's a lot of like, and that's the thing. It might be a moot point in a couple of years when all the G5s turns into one AA.
Yeah.
You know, they'll come up with another letter for them because right now there's a lot of fighting going on regarding how to handle the media deals and things of that sort. So it's going to start becoming fascinating to watch this thing unfold. I want to take the first break and put a pin on this for now. When we come back, I want to talk about the portal. So I want to talk about the portal. So we'll be right back after this first commercial break.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a state, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome back to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, episode 799. This is the Indy Report. I am here with Tariq Wilson, sir. So before I start talking about the portal, I want to give you some quick news that just broke not too long ago today. South Alabama Athletics, Director of Athletics, Dr. Joel Erdman has announced his plans to retire at the end of May. And I bring that up only to just say, I saw the tweet, I retweeted and said, that's interesting. Earl must have been ahead of the curve. Earl must have knew something nobody else does. And somebody replied, said, Earl's always ahead of this thing, man. I think there's going to be legitimate concern about athletic directors with the job for the smaller institutions in particular and the ability to keep up.
Hey, that's what I said. But, it's kind of like, when you had the legendary coaches, especially basketball, they've all retired. It's just, it's a different ball game. Like the ADs, I don't know how, especially at smaller schools, I don't know how they're doing it. But it's a very difficult job. And like a lot of times they got to bring along fan bases and institutions that ain't really ready for it. So is it worth that fight, man? That's the thing. So I get it.
I'm starting to think that Campbell doesn't think it's worth the fight, which is why they lost their basketball coach to Louisville.
Yeah.
But I think, I talked about Campbell last week. I think for them, if I was king for a day for Campbell, and some of y'all might not want to hear this, I would get rid of football and focus on basketball.
That's not going to happen.
We know it's not going to happen, but they're hemorrhaging the rest of their athletic programs. They lost their track and field coach because they told them they were going to cut their scholarships. They cut the scholarships in baseball when they were a perennial baseball program within the Big South going into the CAA, and then they cut the baseball program and now they're normal. They're normal. Wow. Like they're normal. And they were beaten, and like they beat number 6 Duke at one point. Like they were beating like juggernauts. So like if you're
had a good run recently. I mean, what happened? Just they didn't adapt quick enough. I mean,
they got a new president that changed the priorities of athletics.
There you go.
And and when you have that, that's what happens. Like you're able to get people into the institution, which is a miracle in itself, hire folks in the Blues Creek. But you get good coaches in there, and now you're sitting here wondering what's going on. And then on top of that, your enrollment at your institution is falling. So you have no way to generate some type of income from an athletic fee standpoint. And now you got to deal with NIL, and the money ain't there. Folks ain't going to those games, man. Folks ain't going to those football games. So,
yeah, that's tough. That's a tough place to watch. Me and my son, we got an inside joke about Campbell football. Like we used to go to when Hampton played there, and the announcer he would always go, "It's third down." So I'll never forget. We still laugh at that to this day. But no, it's a tough, man. Even when they were winning, like the place was never really that full. But they have nice facilities though. I mean, that's why. Yeah, I guess if you're not really doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, but obviously the facilities ain't that important because I'll tell you this, we pulled some players from Campbell during this last portal round.
Well, if you're a young man of a certain community, would you rather go to Bowie's Creek or Greensboro?
Well, obviously they said Bowie's Creek.
Driving through Bowie's Creek give me the heebie-jeebies sometimes, man.
Well, look, man. They chose Bowie's Creek initially when they could have went to Greensboro. But then they come play us at home.
You gotta find out. Sometimes you gotta find out. You gotta find out.
I got to interview Mike Menor while he was still the coach there to talk about his Panther stuff. Went out for my other podcast, and it's funny. Like I still do not understand how he ended up there. Do not understand. But either way,
opportunity. Yeah. Wow.
So how many players on your men's basketball roster has hit the portal for y'all?
I think 3. I think we were losing like 6 or 7 to graduation, and then in our little message board, our little area, we were saying there are 2 players that we really need to come back, and that's Johnson and Gaines Wyatt. They both hit the portal, and then also Unique Rink hit the portal. So those were our returning top guys. So we've only got 4 guys coming back: 2 freshmen that played some minutes, and then 2 other guys who didn't play so much. So we really just got 4 guys coming back. So yeah, we're decimated. Because like at this level, man, like nobody wants to lose their whole roster, but you win by keeping a core together. Like the 2 or 3 guys that know the coach, they set the culture, they carry it forward. And we lost those guys, especially Johnson. That one hurt. So yeah, man, we got rated again.
So the question I had, all right, so then, oh my God, man. So far we're sitting at we're 7. We got 7 players in the portal right now. I anticipate we'll probably be down to only 2 to 3 returning players. And one of the players that's returning is redshirted last season. Like, so my thing that the big thing that I've noticed is what some of these players are asking.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're getting their advice from, but then I noticed that the previous season we had this kid called somebody from Greece, Nico Chitakounis, and he averaged about 11 points per game for us, and he went and hit the portal, and Robert Morris paid him $250,000, averaging 11 points a game. So then he averaged 11 points a game again while he was at Robert Morris, and he's back in the portal. But the fact that that's the going rate for 11 points a game is scary.
That is,
yeah, that's scary.
Like our one of our coaches, just to jump in, sorry, one of our coaches, he put a video out a couple months ago. He's the GM, I forget his name, basketball coach, and he was talking about one thing that players should consider, because a lot of our guys who've left in the portal, like they're bit players wherever they go, but they're getting paid. Like the only one guy went to Texas Tech, I forget his name, who really had a real impact where he went. But he was talking about what is your overall compensation, not compensation, but percentage, right? If they have a $5 million NIL budget and you're getting 500, I mean, that's a lot to you, but within the scheme of things, you're the 12th man, so like I think that guy to get that money from Robert Morris, that kind of makes sense, because then that's their budget is smaller, so he's more important to them. But like for a lot of our guys, they may get a little money, but man, they playing like 4 minutes a half. Like, what's the? It's not about is it about the game? What is it about? That's someone. I hate the portal, but we can go into that.
Well, NCAA is trying to do something with it. Like they're trying to limit the amount of years you have, a 5-year limit. But we'll see how well that goes. But if they're going to pass it, they better pass it fast.
They can
before the courts come. They can pass it fast. They can absolutely pass.
Yeah, there's really no. Well, they can pass it, but it won't stand up in court.
Something's gonna have to give, man, because I think everybody, like, I think it's gonna get to a point where more and more coaches are gonna resign, more and more ADs are gonna start retiring. But yeah, that's the thing too. Like, let's say the SEC, just as an example, right? Let's say the SEC decides this is it. This is the most that we're gonna be willing to pay you guys, and that's it. What are the players gonna do? Like, once you have a big enough contingency to decide that this is the most that we're willing to pay a roster, then everything will fall into place. But the problem is that's not going to happen, because everybody wants to win. So everybody's going to do what they need to do to win. They're going to try to go win. Like the reason why Bethune-Cookman had a $300,000 NIL budget, allegedly, they were trying to win. Like, they were trying to win. UNCW with their $3 million budget, they were trying to win. Like, they're gonna do what they got to do to win, and people try to not give High Point enough credit for what they did because their NIL budget, but I'm like, but they're still a mid major in the Big South. They're trying to win.
What was their budget? Because High Point,
they were saying it was like $4 million. They were saying like $4 million. Oh yeah, High Point ain't broke. Oh no. High Point got money. They're far from it.
There's a solution to this. So my wife, she's a lawyer. She was on the faculty athletics council at UNC when she worked there before we left. And, they struggle with these things too. And one thing, the real, if you want to have certainty in college athletics, and I'm saying this is not what UNC was advocating, but you got to allow the players to collectively bargain. And then you can set like salary caps and all those contractual rules to have more certainty for the players, fans, and schools. But for a whole host of reasons, the schools ain't, because then you got to treat them like employees. They're basically like pros. But the schools don't want to do that. So until we get to that point, it's just going to be this madness. It's going to be this pure madness. And there's nothing really that the conferences can do without collectively bargaining to set those artificial parameters, because it won't stand up in court, because they couldn't do that in any industry. Then they got collusion and all that stuff. So like, because for me, man, as a fan, I hate it. Like, it's at the point where I don't like it, man. It's and it has nothing to do with the players getting paid. I want them to get paid, but all the hopping, you can't have continuity in the program. And I don't like that. I mean, it's not working for us. I don't know about you guys, but it ain't working for us. Like in the big athletic programs, we're not winning with all of this change and churn. I don't know if it has to do with that, but it's not. We can't build continuity, because what we've become is just training grounds. We get guys, diamonds in the rough. We train them up, and then they get rated. And we got to start over again. And it's not cool to watch, man. I mean, we lost a bunch of guys. We got guys, like a couple guys on Auburn squad for football. I mean, all up and down at the East Coast. Like, it's not fair, man. So I don't like it. I'm off my soapbox, man. I don't like it.
Nah, I feel you. I mean, it's funny. It's kind of wild because like Blake Harper announced that he's hitting the portal. He played for Howard the previous year, then he transferred to Creighton, and now he's back in the portal. So I'm curious to see where he's going to end up. And he had NBA potential, but he decided to go to Creighton, and he wasn't a fit for the system that they ran because they benched him.
Crazy, yeah,
they benched him. Yeah. So because he wasn't part of the fan, he wasn't a fit for the system, they benched him. Which you got to think about the fit too. And I think a lot of times now, I don't think people are thinking about the fit like that. But we know the MEAC is starting to get rated. The SWAC has gotten rated. All their player of the years are in the portal. Rookie of years are in the portal. So I mean, this is just going to be par for the course, particularly for us, unless we decide if we want to try to keep some of our core. And I know, like, we raised a lot of money to try to help Coach Ross keep his core, and that core disappeared.
Yeah.
They're all gone. There ain't too much of the core. There ain't much of a core left. From
what do you think about? This is what I'm trying. I mean, I'd like to understand a little bit more from the athlete's perspective. Like, even right now, I'm sitting in the car. I'm waiting for my son. He's coming out of his basketball practice for AAU. So just to be a average AAU player on a good team in high school, you are practicing several times a week. You lifting weights. You training. It's a 7-day-a-week thing. You doing 2 a day. All this stuff. So you've done all that, right? You've gotten to college. You come into Hampton, Howard, or A&T. You're a star as a freshman. Well loved. You put all this work to get there, and then you transfer to big school. Now you playing 2-4 minutes a half. There's at some point it's about the game too, right? And I mean, I know we all got to get paid. If someone said, "Hey, I'm gonna give you $600,000," you got to go. But that's not what this is supposed to be about. I'm sounding like an old man, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about the game. It's about the play. Like, these guys aren't even playing, man. I feel sorry for them, actually, because there is depression. All those they don't talk about that. You sitting on a bench. You were playing for a decade. Now you're not.
Mm-hmm. Now it's gonna be interesting to see how this whole ordeal unfolds, because there's a lot of folks that like, but there's some folks that are cool with it. They're like, yo, I'm gonna get paid to just sit around. Like Eli Brickhandler, he got a pretty good contract with Ohio State, knowing that he was never going to play. And he was fine with that, because the problem, I guess the challenge with Ohio State during that period was the challenge was they needed somebody that wasn't trying to be a threat to the starter. And they're having trouble finding that nowadays because everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play. D-Lob 2010 asked, do you think at some point the donors are going to get fed up? At the end of the day, only one team in sports, and most sports will win a trophy. But the problem is that all you need is one donor. Like Mark Cuban was out here funding Indiana football. And he got his reward. He got his national championship. So it just depends on the donor. Like if you got like a rich donor, I think every HBCU needs somebody that's going to be willing to put their money where their mouth is. You know, I mean, A&T's got one.
That donor thing
We got one.
Hey, that donor thing gets sticky too, right? Because you got to win. Like these donors usually got money from business, and they usually, respecting returns on their investment. So that's another reason why ADs are feeling the crunch too. Because this guy, I just gave you $10 million. We're not winning. What's up?
Mm-hmm. Donor fatigue.
But there's that other side of the portal too, where dudes are getting processed too. That's the other sad part. Where coaches like, hey man, you can stay, but you're not gonna play. So that's the other side of the portal they don't talk about either. Where some guys ain't in there voluntarily.
Oh yeah, you got the folks that don't want to be there, the folks that didn't ask to be there, that just had to go there because they were told that they were asked to leave.
Right.
Like, that's the thing too. A&T, where it's hard to know if you fit if you don't know who's going to be on the team. I think you as a player should do the research on your coach. Because the bigger concern is it's hard to be a fit if you don't know if that's going to be the coach the entire time while you're there. That's the crux.
Right.
But you got to know what the system is. You got to understand the system that particular coach runs. That should tell you whether or not you're a good fit or not. Like you got this far to hop into the portal on your own, and then you should have an idea what system this coach runs. But when people give, like, here's the question
for those kind of issues. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it.
There's
you
a
got
little
it.
lag on my end. So I heard that there's some folks are proposing a portal combine.
Oh God!
Get them all in the room and take your shirt off.
You better have a big room. I can tell you that. There's over 1,000. There's already over 1,000 players on the men's side that's in the portal.
Yeah, man.
The portal just opened up on Tuesday. So like we're in no man's land, so to speak. I mean, so here's my thing, right? A lot of people give because they want to give to the university that they love. A lot of folks don't really ask for a return. Some do, but not that. But when you give, you give. So, like, when I give to my institution, I'm not asking for a return.
No.
I give.
Nope. I've been on auto payment for a long time. I don't know where it goes. I just hope somebody do the.
Now I know where I do know where it goes. I'm fortunate to know, like, because what I give to for A&T, I have the conversations, so I know where it goes. If you average 8 point a game, you were pushed. Now I don't know about that, man, because there's players that average 8 points a game asking for $200,000.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know. The numbers that I've been hearing across the landscape has been insane. There was one kid.
20%. Some agents are asking for 20%.
You mean the street agents?
Hey, Uncle Rob, cousin.
Uncle Rob, cousin Pete.
Yep. 20%.
Daddy Mo.
He's right.
Like and Mama too. Mama ain't guilty either. Mama ain't guilty either. They all trying to chase this bag, man. But at some point, folks are going to start realizing that your odds are going to be higher, that you're going to be stuck in the portal and they actually get your money that you've been asking for.
Yep. And then wherever you land, as Elcast said, is you happy?
Well, you got your bag, you better be happy.
It don't work. The money goes. Like once you get it, it's not. Then it's about the experience. Like getting paid is cool. You get that check, but then all right, when you're up at 6 a.m, that coach is yelling at you. You hate him. You ain't think about the money.
Yo, this is funny. If my AD needed to go because we're in athletic purgatory right now, then I want to figure out what's happening to the school that hasn't won a championship in any sport in over 1,000 days, pushing 1,100 days at this point.
Damn.
I'm gonna keep it a bean, and that AD's been there the entire time. So, I don't know, man. We just won 2 championships over the last 2 months. I mean, I don't know, man. We got a nationally ranked bowling team. Our track program's probably got a good outside shot to be in the top 25 nationally. We got a couple folks that's definitely going to qualify for NCAAs and outdoor. We're on pace. So I don't know what athletic purgatory is, but I think not winning the championship in over 1,000 days sounds like athletic purgatory to me.
That's tough.
I'm just keeping it a bean with you. You know, it's funny. I asked AI the last time that institution won a championship, and they gave him a title they didn't win.
It was hallucinating.
Yeah, they gave a title that South Carolina State won. I had to correct them.
Wow.
All right. Before I close out, I do want to give some shout outs. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman Baseball for beating LSU last night.
Ooh.
Shout out to them, who was 24th in the country. Big win. Big win. Those are the type of wins that shows the strength of the SWAT. But Bethune is Bethune is one of the Florida schools, so they're always good. Bethune is a baseball school, guys, if you ain't figured this out yet. They're a baseball school. And they show it every year. So shout out to them.
That's dope.
But anywho.
How's football looking? How's your team looking in the spring?
Well, I'm gonna find out. Spring game's this Saturday. I'm flying down for it. Me and my son's gonna go down for the spring game, and there's a esports event. There's an invitational on Sunday that I'm gonna pull up to and compete. Me and my son's gonna compete in that. Play some, like I haven't played Tekken in almost in months, but I'm gonna compete, see if these kids are actually any good. But yeah, I'm going to the spring game on Saturday. I think I have an idea who the starting quarterbacks are gonna be. I mean, I don't even have to show up to figure that out. But, you know, I'm kind of curious to see how we did when it came to recruiting in the trenches. I thought we've done a pretty good job recruiting. So I want to see what it looks like on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to flying down for that. And it's going to be now that AD Hilton announced his retirement. You know, I think there's going to probably be more people that might try to say congratulations to him and, you know, farewell and good luck in retirement, so to speak. But, you know, overall, I think we're going to be better than last year. We're going to end up, we're likely going to be hosting the top 5 team in the country though, but that's a whole different discussion. You're on mute, man.
Oh, who's that?
Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
They're bringing back a lot of guys, man. There was guys that they thought that they were going to go in the portal. They decided not to. They're bringing back all their best players, bro.
Smart. They must got some NIL money, and the guys want to play and win.
They're renovating their stadium right now. They're going to be playing Pawtucket this year, which is like almost 30, 40 minutes away from where they normally play in South Kingstown. So they're renovating their stadium. So it should be interesting. But
awesome.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure I gave that shout out to Bethune because when you beat a Power 4 program, that's big.
Yes, huge.
It's big. That's big. That's major. And Bethune's always been good. Like they've always had a really good baseball program, at least as long as I can remember. Them and FAMU. FAMU typically has a pretty good one too.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yep. And shout out to man. And we're about to close out in a few because I gotta get off a little bit early today. And shout out to to Tennessee State for getting it done with regards to Nolan Smith, extending them to 2031. That's big.
Yep.
And I know some folks were saying, oh well, he could still leave, but nah. But the fact that he wanted to be there and he signed that extension, that's big. That's big.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Hey, EA, man, let's make a deal, bro. You guys go back to the MEAC and we'll go back to the MEAC. But we know y'all ain't gonna go back to the MEAC. Deal. Bethune to come back with you. But I digress. Any final thoughts? I know you got your kid now. Any final thoughts before we adjourn? Oh, Reek is out of here, man. Reek's gone. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close out, guys. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast. Oh, he's back. Hold on. All right, you are back. I thought you were gone, man, because your son's made it back in the car.
Oh yeah, no, he did. And I got some calls, so I do have to.
Yeah, I'm about to close out anyway.
Okay.
I'm about to close out.
Awesome, man.
So yeah. I'm about to close out because I got a couple things I got to knock out before the next show. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I'm David L. Rhodes. Shout out to Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports. And you can follow me on Twitter at ChampD1012. You can follow Big Reek at HUPowership.com, where they cover all Hampton sports. Shout out to Brandon King, who is on assignment. Go check out sneakershoptalk.com. He was so excited that he forgot to show up to the show today about the fact that they extended Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the show. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Make sure you follow Dr. Kenyatta Cavil on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook, and Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big and continue to move forward. We'll talk to you soon. Reek.
Of course.
Lecture dismissed. You guys have a lovely one, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
Yep.